How's it going?
Great. Why? What have you heard?
I'm unaware of anybody, frankly, whose wife has been sexually harassed and has made jokes about that type of situation.
That night, from people in the room, we've spoken to several people who attended the special and then attended parties afterward, and the words that we heard were they were confused as to why they would be there and involved in this way.
Go back to that picture real quick. It's really interesting. A lot of them are just not looking at him at all, even though he's standing and spraying. That's really interesting. And nobody's amused, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, they just thought it was puzzling that they would be out considering all the things that have been said.
Narrator, she did not listen. She did not take my advice at all. I said that having read through Blake Lively's complaints, that it was evident to me that she was likely under the influence when she filed her complaint. Not under the influence of drugs, not under the influence of alcohol, but of the influence of proximity to Taylor Swift. Maybe one Eras tour too many had been attended by her and Ryan, and they were just feeling like they were Taylor Swift. I just recognized her brand of feminism.
The times where people ignore the red flags and say, let's just keep pushing, those are the times where you fail. The majority of things that we're buying are created by men. You always learn more from your failures than you do your successes. I love creating, and I think that as women, you're not often given authorship.
Now you see text messages in this lawsuit from Blake Lively comparing herself to the heroine of Game of Thrones, the fiercest female character we've seen in years. That's her riding her dragon. She's the mother of dragons in Game of Thrones. And that's what Blake Lively says in a text message, that she too has her dragons, Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift. That's, again, believed to be the other person.
Blake Lively did not even read the book that the movie was based on.
Correct.
And we're not talking War and Peace. And then she wanted to, ixnayed all of the wardrobe choices, because when you're making a movie about a poor woman who's suffering from domestic violence, you want her to look like she has money.
Right.
That Blake said.
That's what she did.
She looks like she has money.
Hollywood is said to be full of secrets, but guess what? One of those secrets may have finally come to light. Ben Affleck. That's exactly right. According to the most recent rumors, Ben Affleck, who has been in the public eye for decades, has made a serious accusation. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds aren't just the happy couple we see on red carpets. According to the gossip, they've been managing relationships behind the scenes, setting people up, and even roping unsuspecting celebrities for whatever twisted reason they see fit. The rumor circulating right now is that they didn't just do this to Justin Baldoni. They allegedly have a whole history of pulling strings, controlling more lives and careers than we ever realized. Now, you may be thinking, hold on, that's not the Blake, Elma, and Ryan we know. They're practically the poster couple for lovey-dovey Hollywood success. However, that's precisely why this discovery is so shocking. It calls into question everything we believe to be true about them. Hold on tight, because we're about to delve into a maelstrom of accusations, leaked information, and conflicting claims, each more explosive than the last. By the conclusion, you may be wondering, have we been duped by these two all along? Let's begin where the sparks first flew: Ben Affleck's reveal. Whether you're a die-hard fan or just a casual observer, when Affleck talks, people listen. He has a turbulent personal life, a colorful career, and an unpredictable approach to handling drama. So when he subtly hinted at Blake and Ryan's alleged manipulative streak, the world was obligated to hear what was released. If this is true, the question is why they would care about who dates whom and, more importantly, how that might give them any advantage or power in Hollywood. Affleck didn't just say they introduced people to each other at dinner parties. He basically implied they planned entire career moves under the guise of friendly hookups. That's a far cry from simply playing Cupid at a random get-together. According to a few people close to Affleck, there are hush-hush tapes, or at the very least transcripts of him talking about certain pushy phone calls from Blake or Ryan, or possibly both. These calls, based on the rumors, contain not-so-subtle suggestions that certain actors or actresses might be a good fit, and we're not talking about mild suggestions. It would be adorable if you two hung out. We're talking about the kind of push that sounds more like an order than a gentle prod. Of course, we can't confirm these tapes exist. For all we know, they might be a total hoax. Still, the very possibility has fans and critics in a frenzy. Did Ben Affleck inadvertently poke a beehive he should have left alone? Or did he feel obligated to blow the lid off a pattern of behind-the-scenes meddling? One thing's for sure, once this rumor took hold, it was like lighting a match in a room full of fireworks. Let's pump the brakes for a second and talk about the couple in question, Blake and Ryan. Famously known for their witty banter on social media and their picture-perfect relationship, have always been treated like the golden standard of Hollywood romances. They're adorable on talk shows, they poke fun at each other online, and they appear to have a squeaky clean, charming aura that fans adore. But every coin has two sides. Right behind the public smiles, at least according to these new allegations, they could be quietly pulling the puppet strings of other stars' lives. We all love to think of them as sweet, comedic, and downright philanthropic, but there are whispers that they might be a lot more power-hungry than they let on, and if there's any truth to this, it changes the entire narrative around them. It begs the question, have we been willingly duped by their irresistible comedic chemistry? Is that sunny disposition just a mask for a power couple that thrives on manipulating people into relationships and then basking in the chaos? The speculation might sound out there, but Hollywood is full of stories about A-listers doing everything within their power, no matter how scandalous, to stay on top. Could Blake and Ryan be the latest additions to that less than flattering club? Insiders who used to praise them for being down to earth have gone suspiciously silent since these rumors started. That's either a coincidence or it's because nobody wants to cross the couple who supposedly has enough clout to take you down. And trust me, in an industry that runs on connections and alliances, silence often speaks louder than words. Now let's tackle the first angle of this entire debacle, the reason Blake and Ryan might be engaging in this matchmaking game. To begin with, sure, people set up friends all the time, but usually that's just for fun or out of genuine concern for someone's happiness. The rumor about these two is that their motivation goes far beyond normal friendly intentions. Think publicity stunts, career leverage, or even controlling the narrative around certain projects. One theory making the rounds is that Blake and Ryan use these setups to position themselves as tastemakers in Hollywood circles. By successfully pairing certain actors or actresses, they supposedly gain favor and loyalty, thereby stacking up an arsenal of people who owe them big time. If you think about it, that's a genius move. If half of Tinseltown owes you for hooking them up with their spouse or for saving their career by aligning them with someone else who's hot at the moment, you could, in theory, call in those favors whenever you please. Another angle is that they're absolutely addicted to the control factor. Let's face it, Hollywood is a place of ego and influence, and some people get a rush from controlling how their peers live and work. Imagine having the ability to shape headlines. So and so is dating so and so, all because of Blake and Ryan's fateful introduction that keeps them in the public eye and feeds the notion that they are the ultimate power couple who not only succeed in their own careers, but also plan the success or failure of others. Doesn't that sound manipulative? Or perhaps you believe it's just a harmless pastime that got exaggerated. It's difficult to write off the numerous alleged victims, repeated patterns, and hush-hush insider stories as mere tabloid chatter. And if you've been following Hollywood rumors, you're about to find out how Justin Baldoni fits into this. Trust me. You may recognize the name from his heartfelt roles and upbeat public persona, but it seems that beneath that sunny exterior lies a story he's not particularly proud of, one that allegedly involves none other than Blake and Ryan, who allegedly set him up in a relationship or professional arrangement that later turned into a complete nightmare. This could be a one-time error on Blake and Ryan's part, but it matters because it points to a pattern that doesn't end in a happily ever after, but rather in heartbreak, resentment, or even career-threatening drama. Some sources claim it was romantic, while others imply it was a professional pairing. In any case, it reportedly turned sour faster than milk left out in the summer sun. Justin's own public remarks, in which he obliquely discussed well-meaning friends who forced him into circumstances he later regretted, are being cited by many. At the time, no one suspected that he might be criticizing one of Hollywood's most adored couples, but in retrospect, those cryptic remarks may have been the beginning of a huge iceberg. And here's the kicker. It's important to note that neither Justin Baldoni nor Blake and Ryan have publicly confirmed these details, but the rumors are loud enough that silence from all parties starts to feel like it might be intentional. Sometimes you don't need an official statement to realize something fishy might be going on. If you've ever wondered whether an A-list couple could orchestrate entire relationships just for kicks or power, then Justin Baldoni's story might be Exhibit A. If that's how things really went down, they reportedly cut contact after the situation with Baldoni began to implode, leaving Baldoni to fend for himself in a mess they helped create. There are other names being floated as victims of Blake and Ryan's purported matchmaking missteps besides Justin Baldoni. A few lesser-known actors have been rumored to have a story that sounds uncannily similar: a call from Blake or Ryan, an introduction that seems too good to be true, and a subsequent roller coaster of drama that leaves them worse off than before. Imagine being a rising star waiting for your big break and then receiving an invitation to a fancy event with Ryan Reynolds, who is adored for his humor, or Blake Lively, who is admired for her style and grace. You go excited and hopeful, only to discover later that you've been duped into a relationship or professional partnership that benefits them more than you. People in the industry are now speculating that these heartfelt gestures were actually calculated moves to keep certain projects afloat or certain co-stars in the spotlight. Why aren't these potential victims speaking out more? In Hollywood, crossing a power couple like Blake and Ryan could be career suicide because they have connections to big producers and top-tier directors. So if you start pointing fingers at them, you could suddenly find yourself blacklisted. Fear keeps a lot of people silent, but rumors are circulating that more people might come forward if Affleck's hints lead to a larger, more public scandal, and trust me, if that dam breaks, we could be looking at some serious reputational damage for Blake and Ryan. Some insiders also point out that those who do speak up typically do so very anonymously, giving tabloids or gossip bloggers little details. This is a classic example of how Hollywood secrets leak: a whisper here, a hint there, and then all of a sudden the puzzle pieces come together in a story that is more dramatic than any screenplay you'd see. Will additional alleged victims or behind-the-scenes witnesses have the courage to come out and declare, "Yes, this happened to me too"? Let's now discuss one of the main causes of how startling these tales are. How in the world does that fit with accusations of behind-the-scenes manipulation? Does any of this prove Blake and Ryan are guilty as charged? Blake and Ryan have meticulously cultivated their public image for years. They're the comedic pair who celebrate each other's birthdays, the charitable advocates who support causes, and the red carpet sweethearts that even the most cynical Hollywood onlookers find endearing. It does, however, paint a picture of a couple so invested in controlling narratives, whether about themselves or others, that they would go to tremendous lengths to maintain appearances. Once you notice that crack in the facade, it's difficult to ignore it. Every joke they make and every post they make on social media that seems endearing and funny seems like it could be a part of a larger, more manipulative performance. By this point, you're probably asking yourself, this is too wild to be true. Could they really be that manipulative behind closed doors? The fact that we don't know is what makes the story so compelling. It has all the makings of a major Hollywood drama with well-known actors. Covert intentions. The real question we should be asking is whether Blake and Ryan are actually manipulating people's relationships for their own benefit, or if they are just a symptom of a system where everyone is vying for power. Some fans claim they are the masterminds, but the entertainment industry may be much darker and more twisted than those glossy magazine covers suggest. If more evidence comes to light, such as leaked audio, suspicious text messages, or even direct testimonies, this scandal could escalate into a full-blown reckoning. On the other hand, there's still a potential that this is all smoke without fire. The internet likes a good downfall tale, especially when it entails bringing a supposedly perfect pair down to earth. People who formerly idolized them may feel deceived or even enjoy the drama. It's up to you whether you believe Ben Affleck's veiled remarks and the circulating rumors about Justin Baldoni's bad experience, or whether you believe it's just a crazy conspiracy theory intended to destroy Hollywood's IT couple. A rumor that went out of control, driven by speculation and personal grudges. So where do we land for the time being? There's no doubt that we'll be closely following this story until the next voicemail leak, cryptic post, or meltdown moment reveals something genuine behind all the commotion. Until then, keep an eye out for any abrupt changes in Blake and Ryan's behavior, and keep in mind that sometimes the most endearing faces conceal the darkest secrets. If these claims are true, we may be about to witness one of the largest unmaskings Hollywood has seen in years. And let's face it, wouldn't that be the kind of drama this town lives?